I was married for 23 years. He left for another woman. He married her a month after the divorce. He accused me of not loving me all those years. He started earning money, which is why he became so brazen. We started with nothing and then reached his stable financial well-being. Now this woman is bragging about her victory. And my ex-husband amazes me with his cruel indifference to my fate. I was sure we were family. I ran away from my ex-husband the first time he came back from his mistress. Without scandal and claims. He was unhappy and his mistress wasn't happy either. They got married, and she kept calling me, complaining that he wasn't what she thought he was. He kept calling me, claiming he loved me and would leave her. I can't live with such a feeble-minded man. They're perfect for each other. They divorced 3 years later. She found herself a tightly married, philandering Muslim man with many children. Just to make sure he wouldn't leave the family and his wife wouldn't leave him. My ex-husband lives with his parents. And now I'm in a normal, healthy marriage. Here's another topic. A husband leaves his marriage for a free mistress to escape his problems. The problems in marriage are small children, money, his wife is on maternity leave. Finances have dwindled, and everyday life. Instead of recognizing that the children are growing up, that his wife will soon return to work, that it will be easier, that he should approach this period responsibly and help his family. Husbands take mistresses and leave their wives. They expect the problem to be the woman who can't cope, but he is the weak link, the one who failed the exam and doesn't pass the next level. Having remarried, he enters the same cycle: maternity leave, small children. Instead of enjoying maturity, with grown children, more money, and fewer worries, he relives the most difficult period in the family: sleepless nights and diapers. How stupid! I am a wife whose husband left me for his mistress. He humiliated me beforehand so as not to feel guilty. I sincerely wish for every mistress to follow the path of the woman who is treated this way. My husband had a mistress who was always trying to outdo me. One day, I stumbled across their correspondence, in which she asked him, "How is our wife doing?" Of course, I divorced him. But I realized they had an unhealthy relationship. He was obsessed with her, and she controlled and oppressed him. Eventually, they got back together, destroying their families. I don't care how they live now, but I'm fine, and I'm very happy that my life has changed for the better. Actually, I'm grateful to this mistress. She saved me from a traitor. After all, I lived with a potential traitor for 15 years. It's like a time bomb. He was just waiting for the right woman. If he truly loved me, no one would have destroyed our marriage. And so, well, that means there was no love. Why should I live with a man who doesn't love me and uses me? So everything is logical. In a strong marriage, a third will not appear. A man has no conflict when he leaves his wife. A man is built on a simple foundation. He wants absolutely everything that moves, and he's not tormented by remorse. He'll live where he's best served: food, cake, order, without being brainwashed or overly demanding. With his wife, he's who he really is. With his mistress, he's in perpetual demo mode, pretending to be a prince. It's completely effortless for him, because his mistress often has little time for him, doesn't go through the difficulties in everyday life with him, doesn't know the real him, sees only the demo shell, and then she fantasizes about him, endowing him with superhuman qualities, and falls in love with this fantasy. She demands nothing from him. They don't share a common life or share difficulties, and he, of course, loves this very much. She considers his desire a confirmation of his love. And what if a man gets a morning erection? For example, regardless of whether a woman is with him, it's just physiology, that's all. And it starts around age 13 or 14, long before he even knows women. Biology, like animals, like digestion. You wouldn't consider a man's good digestion or regular bowel movements proof of love, would you? So why do you consider an erection proof of love? I had this conversation with a girlfriend yesterday. He says he wants me so much. Ridiculous. You might as well say he takes a crap every day, which means he loves me. I had the opportunity to become the mistress of a high-status man, even though I'd already been married for many years. My childhood friend, we were in love at 15, found me many years later and began courting me with great force. I found it funny to watch him straining, trying, sending flowers. Then texting me, "Good morning, darling," in the morning and sending me messages all day long, which, in his opinion, should have made me melt and run to him, dropping my slippers. This went on for 6 months. I didn't hide it from my husband. My husband knew I had an admirer, but my husband trusts me. I never gave him a reason, and what's more, my husband knows I despise unfaithful men. Then I got so fed up with it all, and I wrote to him, "Does your wife know what kind of messages you write to me and gifts you send?" After that, he stopped writing to me. Ladies, know your worth. Don't throw yourself at anyone out of loneliness. Unfaithful men will not be faithful with any woman. Good afternoon. My husband left me when I was 35. He left me for his mistress when our second child wasn't even a year old. To be honest, it was a shock for me. Everyone around me thought we had a good marriage with 2 children. He insisted on having a second child, and I don't know why. He's in the military, and during the year of his wild parties, which I had to endure, he was also trying to run for parliament. At the same time, he was dragging me through the mud, which is terrifying. Only now do I realize what sacrifices I made for him. When my husband left for work, I persuaded him to study at the diplomatic academy, and I took full responsibility for the household and everyday life. Girls, think more about your own fulfillment in life and trust yourselves. An adult cannot be taken away. Cheating is a choice. And I've always been amazed how women can trust a man who cheated on his wife with them. People don't change. He will also cheat on his mistress, although he cheated on her before, with his wife. If a man cheats on you, he'll cheat on you too, the golden rule. I've never been a mistress. And I've never been cheated on, but I know people for whom being a mistress is the norm. Then their husbands leave them, and their lovers cheat on them, and they suffer. And they get some strange thrill out of this drama. Yes, mistresses think this is happiness. My ex-husband found himself a woman like that. He was flying on wings. I divorced him. He came crawling back, saying, "Forgive me, I'll forget. You're my family." I gave him another chance, but he screwed me up after a month. He wouldn't let me go, so she left, or rather, ran away. I thought, kids, live happily. Time will tell who sleeps with whom. 25 years have passed. I'm happy, and he probably is too. She told my daughter, "Your mother put up with him for at least 10 years. And I put up with him for 15. Now this macho man is cavorting with young women, at 56, looking for something, maybe even a place to settle down. And how wonderful that my nervous system is fine and my lower chakras are healthy. Otherwise, sit and think, didn't bring anything in your underwear." Contagious diseases. Yes, dating sites are full of married men who lie about being single. And in real life, the majority are the same. Maybe it's fair to wish them a boomerang, and also their wives, who, as soon as they find out about a mistress, immediately start needing a man. I personally have been drawn into this several times, and I wish all these family people a boomerang. But they can't live together as they are. And as soon as a third person is involved, they immediately become interested in keeping each other together. And all this often looks exactly like this. I'm very grateful to my mistress for giving me a chance at happiness. And happiness means not living with that cheating boyfriend. Yes, she called me several times at night and insulted me. In general, you need to run immediately, while there is still a chance. There are women who wait for a mistress to show up so they can get a divorce. She's afraid to leave, he's aggressive, and there's a reason. The mistress gets a pig in a poke. Then she also tries to leave him when he starts to behave disgustingly with her. How many offended wives have gathered abandoned, with an outstretched hand with a stamp on their foreheads? I'm a wife. We have children, home. Psychologists are rubbing their hands. And here come the clients who will be staying for years. Girls, anything can happen in this life. Wipe your snot and live your life. My husband was very dependent on his mother and for a long time in our marriage pretended to be a kind, compassionate man, only poor, giving all his finances to his mother. And I believed him. How can I not trust my husband? His mistress opened my eyes. It turns out he's leading not just a double life, but a triple one, and has money for everyone, including his mother and his mistresses. From that moment on, the rose-colored glasses came off, and my good feelings for him were completely and irrevocably lost. And he thought things would continue as before. Any mistress will have to apologize to herself and her ex-wife when the boomerang comes back. And it always does. It's okay when a man simply leaves for another. It's much more frightening when you have to pay with children. If, for example, there are children left in the family or someone wasn't born because of the triangle. And there's not a single woman who wouldn't have to look back and see where she'd gotten herself into all this trouble. Life is totally fair, and everyone gets what they deserve. It's wonderful to hear all this. Let those who destroy families experience this firsthand. My classmate stole a man from his family. When she became pregnant, he began cheating on her. All the above triggers apply to the infantile female lover. Not seeing what kind of person is in front of you and only dreaming about the airy clouds into which you will plunge after marriage with your ex-lover is more than strange and childishly stupid. Many men perceive marriage as a contract of sale, of a slave, for lifelong service to the master. I also don't want to be considered property. And I hope I have the wisdom and strength not to cling to the pants that are leaving for another woman if this happens. No love, no marriage. I wish there was understanding for those who have to endure an unhappy marriage due to housing insecurity or economic reasons. They most often find themselves in hopeless love triangles. People don't understand and judge them, but the reason for infidelity in 90% of cases is not lust but financial circumstances. Any person would have already ended the marital relationship and honestly dated a new love object, but wants to keep the home. That's why I think a husband and wife should each have their own home. So that if this happens, they don't cheat, but leave with dignity, but only the rich and well-off can afford this. May God grant that everyone has somewhere to go and doesn't have to live together in deception because of an apartment. I was married for 30 years. Then I read the correspondence and saw photos of this hen on the computer. Right away, at 12:30 a.m., I opened the door and kicked him out. I didn't seek revenge because I was sure life would take its revenge on them. He was absolutely fine with my energy. I haven't regretted it for a second. My health improved. After I got rid of the energy drainer, I found a good job. Everything is better for me than it was. He's aged, barely walks, and he placed his mother in a nursing home. Thank God. All of this would have been on me. I didn't investigate anything. There was no talk of fighting for the traitor. Whether they live together or not, I don't know, and it doesn't bother me. I don't think so. This idiot only wanted money, not an old, sick asshole and his elderly mother. Everyone builds their own life, and everyone, and only they, can screw it up. Good luck to everyone. Everything in life is fair.